All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez podcast. I'm your host, Marcus. That's my brother, AB. That's my other brother, our favorite hater from the Golden State, Hot Take Jay. What up, baby?
What up?
Say Hot Take Jay getting this audio game up. We waiting for Aaron to jump on board there. I like the hat, though.
You like the mug too? You like the mug too?
Yeah, I like the mug. I like anything Rockets. But so which brings up the first topic that we're gonna discuss. Y'all know a lot is going on. Hey, actually I was wondering before we get started in that, Jason, did you play high school basketball or college basketball or anything like that?
Yeah. I played high school and then played a couple years in the Air Force with Aaron at Tyndall Air Force Base.
Oh, okay. What position you play?
I liken myself to a 3, but they always trying to put your boy down there
down low
at the 4. Yeah, at the 5 when I'm 6'4", but
he
160 pounds.
He played catch and shoot, catch and let it go. That's what he played.
He wasn't trying to post nobody up. He was down there catching and shooting it, huh?
I swear, I swear I wanted to be Steph Curry
before. Court flipping his wrist. The whole time he walked around the court, flicking his wrist.
Hey, it's funny too, Jason. Because it's when you were like just a regular civilian, and when I say that, I mean not like a college player or not like an NBA player or something like that. When you just a regular civilian basketball player of like of human heights. And you tall or a little bit tall, they put you at the center. When you short, they automatically assume you're a point guard. So I found myself playing point guard. It's like, wow, I can't beat a 3 or something like that? No, you short, you point guard. That means you might be fast. We're just gonna give you the ball and let you just run up and down the court. So, but yeah, it's funny. I know you want to play shooting guard or the 3, but you taller than the average person. You go be the center.
I wanted to be Steph before I even knew what Steph was. That was my vision when I was sitting out there playing in the driveway. It's like, dude, like that's just what I wanted to be, that ultimate green light. So watching him do it, and then him to be light skinned and be doing it 30 miles away.
Dude had to be. I'm light skinned, so I gotta be Steph. Hey, we're bringing chocolate back.
But instead of Steph, he got Tayshaun Prince without none of the defense.
Yeah, Tayshaun. you more. That's what you remind me of, Tayshaun Prince. You're too tall to be Steph. You're too tall to be a point guard. You got to be a center.
The left hand shot.
I wasn't nothing because nobody told me, bro, you better dribble with your right hand and play some defense, bro, because you ain't moving nowhere without a right hand or some defense. And really, truth be told, go live in that weight room. The girlies will like you. You'll get to go,
Yeah.
Go live in that weight room.
Go hit the weights too and quit avoiding contact.
Did you feel like you were pretty good?
I was good. I felt like I could have had a future, but like I said, you get lost into it. Me and my mom got into it pretty thick, and then that's when I pretty much joined the military. And you look up and you're 21, you're 22, you still ain't lifting weights, and your time passed you by, and you got robbed of an opportunity before you even knew.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't know what you don't know, and what you need is someone that know better to tell you, look, man, you're already good at shooting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you go out here, you're not working on shooting, catching, and shooting again. You're working on dribbling with your right hand. You're working on finishing with your left, or whatever the case may be. All game, this whole time when you go out here and play, you're driving to the basket every chance you get. Learn how to finish in the paint because you're 5'8", and you need to learn how to finish over tall people.
Yeah.
Aaron,
did you ever feel like when when you're young, you kind of naive, you hooping and stuff like that, you love to do it. Every kid dreams about going to like the league, go play basketball in the league. Aaron, did you ever feel like you were gonna play in the NBA at all?
No,
you were realistic.
I was realistic. I knew I'd be talking about the league. Hey, but I was just happy getting my T-shirt retired at DeSoto Park. Just go ahead and hang my T-shirt up in them rafters, because I come up here 3-4 times a week and do it.
Hey, you got Jay. He talked about DeSoto Park. You got to understand DeSoto Park is like in our neighborhood in Houston. That's where everybody went to hoop, at DeSoto Park. I mean, actually we used to go up there and do it. We walk up and down the street going to different basketball courts and go hoop. Our little group of people.
Yeah. Where you going? You know where I'm going. You know where I'm headed to.
Yeah, where you going?
Pull up.
Is he at that old church down the street? I think like maybe 5 blocks from where we lived in the apartments, or DeSoto Park.
Yeah, I wish I had some of that. I grew up in the white side of town. I mean, I'm talking about, it was less than, I mean, there was like, I don't know, a couple thousand kids in our school, and you could count them. You can count minority, well, not so much the Mexicans, but black folks, 5 on one hand. You can, and
really.
So then so I didn't have, even the hoopers, they was in that clique with, skateboarders and football players. And it just wasn't my vibe. There was ethnicity was a part of it, but it wasn't all of it. I was just kind of like this free spirit, and I was out there. But what I was robbed of was 3-4 brothers going to the park. And you know how people get great at what they're doing because somebody right next to you is pushing you. You know what I'm saying? And you keep trying to level each other up. And when I'm missing that, that's how you make it to 11th grade, and you know nothing about controlling your body.
Yeah.
What is a 5'8" guy doing when he takes it to the lane to finish over somebody who's 6'4"?
Yeah.
You don't learn that, and then you don't, and it hurt me twice as bad, because now when you got to defend it, I'm like, why is he putting his shoulder in my chest? That ain't basketball. What is he doing?
You talking about Aaron?
I'm talking about basics that I missed out on because I wasn't rolling with 3 or 4 brothers and DeSoto Park or wherever. So
yeah. Actually, and you know what, Jay? When we were coming up, my mom had 5 boys and 1 girl. Our 2 older brothers, they moved out, and did their thing, and it was me, Aaron, and Charles. And we were real close with each other, and we hooped all the time. But we had some friends that we were real close to. Shout out 50-50 Twin. Both of them, actually, Roderick and Broderick. And they, in our house, our friends would actually come and live with us. You know what I'm saying? They'll come and spend the night, and they'll never leave. That's how it was, right, Aaron? And so everything we did it together, and we had our own little built-in basketball team that we would just, and so the chemistry was just on point. So we go somewhere to DeSoto Park or whatever and hoop, and we'll be like running the court, and Aaron,
no height at all.
None of us are tall at all. Aaron was the youngest out of all of us, and he just kind of learned by just playing with us. It's kind of like LaMelo Ball playing with Lonzo and D'Angelo. That's how it was. And so he was more advanced when he got to our age because he was playing with us at such a young age. And so it got to the point where he thought he was better than me. He still think he better than me. He not, but he still think he better than me. But there are certain things that Aaron can do better than me. Like shoot. He can shoot because he couldn't do anything else. He had to stay on the perimeter and shoot.
Because they wouldn't let me dribble.
We wouldn't let him dribble.
Hey man, get off the ball. You don't dribble.
Slow.
Pass the ball.
Yeah, and he naturally slow, so he wasn't beating nobody to the basket. So he was staying on the outside, and that's how he developed, But it's just I asked you that because I just wonder. You told me you were 6'4" the last time, and I'm like, I wonder if this dude played basketball and.
A little bit, but I mean the world's biggest underachiever, especially considering like when I was dedicated, my pull up was right, and I had a passion for it and a touch. Yeah. But when you go out there and that's all you want to do, and I didn't put myself, and my story is a little bit more complicated than that because I got a stepdaddy, and my mom was like psychotic when it came to grades and not doing what. So she stood. My stepdaddy went to USC to play football, had scholarship offers to play basketball, and every time he tried to kind of step in and kind of steer me on the path, my mom was like, "Nope, his grades ain't right. Let him drown. Let him drown." Yeah. And I drowned.
Yeah. No, when you pull up to the gym and they see 6'4" and they want you to be like, man, get the boards, hold the boards down, block some shots.
Oh no, Aaron. No, the worst is on a fast break when they throw you the oop. They assume.
No donkey.
The ball go up and come right back down, and it turns into a layup.
That's exactly
Jason, like, I'm gonna jump up and catch the ball and come down with it. Lay it in, maybe even dribble back out to the 3-point line and let it go.
And that's
I was
funny
good for a couple of them.
That's funny when you tall and they do that, but when you short, it's like you go on a fast break and you mad because they don't throw you the oop. You're like, why you ain't throw the oop, man? Man, you can't catch no alley oop. Man, I just throw it up there. I'll go get it. That's funny. Yeah,
that's how I tore my knee. That's how I tore my meniscus. Somebody shot the ball, and I was like, man, I'm finna prove I can go get it. And I went up, and the ball bounced up the thing. I knew I wasn't gonna get it, but I knew I could get it and like hit it hard off the rim.
You just trying to show. You just trying to show.
I can make it look pretty, so I tried to catch it. And what I did was I caught somebody's shoulder with my leg.
Yeah.
Fell down and bust my knee on the court.
Ooh.
Knee ain't never been the same since.
Man.
But it looked good because I was up there.
I believe you this much.
I sacrificed my knee for that picture.
And no one even took a picture. That nobody took. But anyway, man, yeah, it's good. It's good going down memory lane sometimes, on that type of stuff. But let's get into it. We're talking about the Houston Rockets right now, and the whole deal with James Harden and the stuff that's going on. You constantly hearing stories every day. Bleacher Report releasing like just little. They're giving you pieces at a time, so you're not really fully getting the whole picture. So, James Harden holding out on joining the Houston Rockets for their practices to start the season, and because he's wanting to be traded from Houston, and so that's his way, I guess, of trying to force a trade, or at least start that process to show them that he's serious about it. So, Jason, you had some thoughts on it that you really wanted to discuss about James Harden. What do you think? You think James Harden doing the right thing by trying to force his way out, or what do you want to talk about?
The first question I want to ask both of y'all is there any way that I can talk about how great I think James Harden is as an all-time scorer, as an innovator, as a transcendent player, and give the utmost respect, and at the same time, I'm done with James Harden, bro. Like I can't stomach his underachieving, his drama, and like, is there a way where I can not look like a hater and still go in on him? Can answer that question for me?
No. Until you take that Warriors hat off, then I might believe you. You take that Warriors hat off, I might halfway believe you. But anytime,
Aaron, we've had enough. Go ahead.
Anytime a Golden State Warrior fan get ready to say something about a Houston Rockets, it's gonna always be followed up with some skepticism. But go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna listen to your argument. But let's.
Aaron, go ahead. Tell me. You've heard me say enough things. It's not necessarily coming off as a hater, but like when I say I'm done, I have expectations, and I'm about to get into it real quick. But there's just nothing. There's no way I cannot be the bad guy here. None. Because so when I look at it, first off, side note. These stupid articles about the Warriors have an interest, and then the Warriors are no longer interested. Y'all go on to the club, and you look and you see this busted girl. She either got a huge gap in her teeth. She busted. Whatever she got going on. And she catch you staring at her and she thinks that you're looking at her. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to you.
Well, hold on. Okay.
That's what this James Harden is.
Well,
let
me say,
like you didn't see the girl standing behind you that we were staring at.
Wait, Jay. Let me say something real quick. That's happened to me, and this is a whole nother story. But for the sake of entertaining the listeners on the podcast, my wife and I were visiting with her sister in Georgia, and then we were, I forget the name of the Air Force base. She was in the Air Force, but we drove to Atlanta, and we went to a mall in Atlanta, and I was inside of a shoe store, and my wife was sitting outside the shoe store waiting for me to come out. So this dude, he walks up, or the dude wearing a dress, a wig, everything, and then he immediately started looking at me in the store, and I saw him looking at me, but I'm like, okay, now keep in mind this is my first time in Atlanta. So I saw him looking at me, but I'm like, man, I'm not even finna try to make no eye contact with this mug because I don't want that smoke, So I'm looking at a shoe, and he just kind of like hovering around me. I'm looking at a shoe, and then I wanted to show it to my wife. I said, Tamika. And so when I said it, the dude looks up and like, huh? Like as if I'm talking to him. And I want to say, man, I ain't talking to you. And then is your name Tamika? I doubt it. But it's like somebody that want that attention, like real bad.
Exactly. I love the way you just described it too, because that's what James Harden is to the Warriors. And these booger-eating reporters out here talking about the Warriors is interested in James and in talks. Come on now. We don't want no part of that.
I believe that the Warriors are interested, but it was interested on the level what you said. Well, if we can give y'all Wiggins and some crap, yeah, we'll take him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that deal.
No, you saying you wouldn't.
You wouldn't, but the Warriors would be
general manager and your coach would take it.
Yeah.
And why you said it, Jay? Just so somebody else won't have it.
Yeah.
Yes, the Warriors would take James in a heartbeat. I don't think they ain't giving enough stuff for Clay. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do that. But if they could give up Andrew Wiggins and maybe Kelly Oubre or something like that, or I don't know, Looney or something stupid, yeah, they'll try to do it. Clearly, they would.
Yeah.
They didn't need Kevin Durant either.
Go ahead and make your point, Jay. I'm waiting for you to unload, brother. Go ahead.
Well, it's quicker than you might think. When I say I'm over James Harden, it's an article came out today talking about we're lucky to have Steph as a leader and everything. And I'm like, and it's too much to go into, but it articulated, it goes beyond the stat sheet. And it's just like, there's a category of players that I've had, and I've been proven wrong, but Cam Newton, Carmelo Anthony, John Wall, it's players that give you lip service. And in the end, they don't really care. And what are my expectations of James Harden? My expectations of James Harden is that he does what he's been doing from a stat perspective. But if you don't want to be the vocal leader, don't be. He's using the Trump supporter. He's using the Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook as an avenue to get out of, I don't know if it's accountability or what, but I just have a higher bar. I feel like I remember the time that he no-showed against San Antonio, and Aaron was complaining about a concussion or whatever. And I was like, bro, it's like he cheated on Houston. I'm mad for you. Like, why aren't you as mad? Steph wouldn't get away with this on my watch. And it's just, it's a lightweight character. Just because you stay in between the lines and you ain't raping nobody and you ain't the scum of the earth, doesn't mean my expectations of you shouldn't be higher. And it's just a bunch of lip service, bro. I'm like, why are you even talking about Brooklyn? Why are you even talking about Philly? Like, you got a city who loves you, and you can't just shut your damn mouth, go to work, be happy with your 200 million, and just be somebody that diehard Houston fans can be proud of, and then let the chips fall where they may. Like, it's not that hard for what I think the expectations for James Harden should be. Mm-hmm. And it's just like being in the club 30 minutes after you get eliminated. It doesn't matter if you just unload, if that's your thing. I like to make it rain too, but it's just the appearance of it that should have you step back and say, let me not disrespect my Houstonians, and the club will be there tomorrow. So it's just a higher standard.
So if you were to put bullet points next to your beef with James Harden, like, what would get those bullets? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Is it him being in the club, him not being accountable, him not being a leader, him not winning the championship? What would those things be?
On the court, it's why isn't James Harden, like, for example, and this was on glaring display in the bubble. Why, when Russ has the ball in his hands, can you not even try to move off the ball, be a slasher, be a cutter, try to figure out? I mean, the defense he played was admirable because you could see some passion when somebody was trying to post him up. So I'm not going to just completely discredit it, but like, you say you're trying to get better. He coming up with all these fancy moves. Some of them are so obnoxious, he's never going to try them in a game. Well, how about you figure out how to slash and cut and to be a presence and have gravity when you're off the ball? How about you go get it when the situation calls for it? It's just, and then having some common sense in the post game and outside of the fact, bro, you got 200 million. Ain't nobody relating to you. You're in the 1% of the 1%. How about you just, be a leader? And it don't have to be LeBron James leader. It don't have to be Steph Curry leader. Giannis and Harden are criticized for the same thing. They are coming up short in the moments that are the biggest. But I'm not having these questions about Giannis at all. Like, his character, does he really care? Is he giving lip service? Is he trying to get his three ball better? Like, there's a stank about James Harden that I'm tired of. Like, I'm over. And if I was a GM on another team, mm-hmm. I could look at the stats. Houston could be talking about a king's ransom. But the truth is if I was Bob Myers, I wouldn't even give up Wiggins for him, because Wiggins is not as good of a player as Harden. He's 50% of Harden. But what he brings is what we need. And why a player of Harden's stature is that even a conversation? The answer should be, hey, you want Wiggins? Let me get Harden. I'll figure out the rest later. That's what it should be. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting here like, you know what? All that diva crap. Yeah,
Well, what about you, Aaron? You look like you itching to respond to.
Please.
What he talking
about. It's good. I couldn't even see his face until he starts talking. So go ahead.
Because you could just sense and feel and watch the hate spewing out of Jay the entire time that he was going on and on about that nonsense. First of all, if everybody always want to deal in absolutes, and things ain't absolutes. So, you know what I'm saying? Two things can be true. And in this case, the truth is James Harden is not the leader that you want for your team, but he is absolutely a guy that you can build a championship team around. Now, you have to have the team built the right way. And in 2018, I think they kind of had that blueprint. Chris Paul, or a player kind of with his kind of demeanor, is what you need, and the skill that he could bring. But I think Jason gets his views clouded a whole lot by watching the Warriors every night.
I am spoiled.
Steph Curry is in the 1% of the 1%, just like you said, James Harden is. His shooting is at a level that nobody else can replicate, not even Clay. But then you have Clay who also can have the same thing. So when you're saying the Steph Curry, I don't believe that Steph Curry is the leader.
I'm not talking. Did you hear me say anything about stats?
I'm not talking about stats. I didn't say anything about stats. I'm not talking about stats.
And the comparable talent on the roster. I wasn't talking about Clay or Draymond. He's had equal talent.
I'm talking style of play. It's got nothing to do with talent. I haven't brought up talent at all. But what I'm saying is that you're watching what Steph Curry does and say, well, why can't he be a better mover off the ball? Why can't he do this and why can't he do that? Right? The same way you can say, why can't he do this? Is the same way you can say, why can't other people replicate what James replicate? No one can replicate what Steph and Clay replicate. That's why they're Steph and Clay, why they're special. Steph's ability to move off the ball is way better than anything that he could ever do on the ball. And that is with him being one of the best dribblers there is in the NBA. Steph is not, I don't believe that Steph is the leader of the Warriors. I believe that that's Draymond Green. He don't have to take the toughest matchups. He don't have to run the offense. He can just play his role, and his special skill set makes all of this other stuff go because of the gravity that Jason's always talking about. Steph moves this way, the whole defense got to account for it. And then on the other side of the floor, Clay is moving one way, the whole defense trying to account for that. And in the mix, don't make a mistake because they'll hit you with a backdoor cut. That's not James Harden's skill set. I'm not a jump shooter, right? When I'm playing basketball, I can shoot really, really good, but I'm not a jump shooter. I'm not a off the dribble, pull up, jump in the air and pull a jump shot. Not everyone has that, and you are. You know what I'm saying? That'll make you a better shooter than me, but you're a better jump shooter, right? So it's everyone has their own different skill set. We go back to the Spurs series when you bring it up and you say, well, what happened to James? He probably what happened to James is he shouldn't have been playing defending LaMarcus Aldridge and Paul Gasol for the whole game, because instead of subbing your backup center when one center goes down, we just shortened the rotation and said, no centers tonight. James go guard LaMarcus and Paul Gasol for the whole game, and then run the offense on the other side. You should know that being a skinny dude and saying I have to go and bang in the post and know what effect that have on you.
Here's another thing too that I would say about, because you brought up James Harden not moving when he don't have the ball in his hand and stuff like that. Remember when they were going to the playoffs earlier on, I'm talking pre-2017 and stuff like that, and they kept getting eliminated and it looked like James Harden was running out of gas. Don't you think that him not moving without the ball is actually by design? They actually started trying to rest James Harden in the games, and they figured this would be the best way to do it. Was to not have him moving around so much, to conserve energy, because they wanted him to be able to still perform at a high level later in the game. It's not his fault that he's not, like you said, a Steph Curry or Klay Thompson and stuff like that. That's not his game. Now, what they did do is move him to where his strength was, which was to post up and bang with the big men down low, where he could conserve energy but still be the best that he could be. And I think they put him in a better position to succeed, and not try to be like, oh, because he's the point guard or because he's the shooting guard, he should be running around and have all this energy. And to me, earlier on, that's bad coaching moves. When you know that your guy is better at being a low post defender at the size that he is, we always praise PJ Tucker and players like Chuck Hayes and Draymond Green for being undersized post players and being able to be strong enough to bang down low. Well, why not put this man in the position where he can succeed? Why do we expect that he's supposed to all of a sudden guard a Kyrie Irving? Yeah. Or move around the court like a Kyrie Irving. That's just not his strength. And so we can't bang on him and judge him for something that he's not good at doing.
to add on what you're saying, Marcus, about that point is Robert Covington and PJ Tucker, as you brought him up, are known as excellent defenders, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent, right? Mm-hmm. In the bubble against Oklahoma City, Robert Covington and PJ Tucker repeatedly got toasted on the perimeter, trying to guard Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And why? Because that now you're out of your element of what you do great, and you're asking them like, that don't mean that they're less defender. They're just not great at that aspect of it.
Yeah, you can't be just because you're a great player don't mean that you're great in everything.
Let me rephrase this because we're digressing off of what my point was. Is I think that it's not character attacking James Harden's character is the wrong thing. He's not breaking the law. He's not raping nobody. He's not abusing nobody. He's not dealing drugs. He's not all these bizarre. That's not the category I'm putting him in. I don't feel like he would do anything to win. I think that if the way to win was him having 5 points and 30 assists, or the tougher question is, hey, you know what? We're going to move you back into this 6-man role. That's absurd. It would never happen. But would he do anything for the team, or would he be?
I got a point.
I don't feel that when I look at him. I don't feel like this is I'm getting what's mine, and then if we can win, that's great too. But I don't really give a damn. But I'm going to get what's mine first, and then after that, yeah, hopefully we can get a championship because that's what I'm here for, and all the lip service that he continues to give. And I think he's full of shit.
Well, what to me, let me ask you this. Number one, let me say this. Number one, I don't think James Harden ever claimed to be a leader of a team. I think James Harden would have been happy to stay in OKC as the 6th man if they would have paid him what he was worth when it was time to pay him. He early on lamented not staying with KD and Russ in OKC and having to go take a new role as the leader. Just because I'm a good player don't mean that I'm the leader. Just because you're willing to pay me $100 million to all of a sudden be a starting point guard or a shooting guard, or it's a superstar on your team, don't mean that that's what I really am. And I think James Harden is conceding that by saying, hey, I'm willing to go to Brooklyn and go play with KD and Kyrie because maybe I can't get it done on my own, but everybody's expecting, just because you James Harden, you're supposed to be able to do this, and that's what we expecting of you, and you're not fulfilling that role that we expect of you, and so now you ain't worth nothing. You're not a leader. You selfish and blah blah blah. Go ahead, AB.
I got 2 points. Jason, one of Jason's favorite players in the league is Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And you love Giannis, but he's been exposed in the playoffs as if you wall the paint off, right? You just wall it off, then you lessen his effect.
He definitely left the playoffs this year with opportunities for growth and holes in his game that he can improve on. Yes.
Okay, so leave it there. And then the other thing, what did you say to me the other day about James and what he can do for you throughout the game? He can get you there 46 minutes in the regular season and all the way to
he can carry the water.
He can carry the water. Matter of fact, he can carry the water all the way to the conference finals a couple times, right? So
which is why I like him in Philly. Because I believe Joel is big enough for the moment.
But he can carry the water all the way in the regular season to the MVP level for the last 5-6 years. MVP level, right? Top 5 finisher. And he can carry you to the regular season to one of the best records. He can carry you to the conference finals and all that stuff. But in the last 2 minutes of whatever arbitrary game you want to make it, it ain't him that can get it done. If James can get you all the way to the conference finals and he can get you, to right on the cusp and drag you for 46 minutes, and if he ain't the guy that can hit the big shot or can get you over the top, he's done his part. At that part, it's up to the coach and organization. If you know that this is his weakness, to have to design something to get it done where he falls short at. We were going to talk about this later, I think, but Kyrie mentioned recently, in the bubble about how LeBron, for as great as he was, LeBron wasn't the guy. He didn't feel LeBron was a guy that either wanted to take the big shot or could make the big shot to get them over the top. And how he was like playing with Kevin Durant for the first time, he feels like he has someone that's his equal that can not only get it, take it, but can make it. So, and that's LeBron James. LeBron James is arguably the greatest basketball player in the history of the league. And we all know that for the longest, that was one of the blemishes on his record, was that he was looked at as he don't want to take the big shot, or he hides from that moment, while all being great and still winning. So to say that you're done with James and he can't be whatever, find what he can be and make it fit and make it work.
I think so let me clarify, because again, it's not, James can be a number 2 or a number 3 on a championship team. I'm done with the diva James Harden. We're getting too far off track as far as what James does on the court. Yeah, I believe there's effort associated with moving off ball, and you can play into all the strategy and stuff. But it's funny how when you're in the moment and you're staring down the loss of your Houston Rockets going home, and then 2 months later, it's just like that abused wife that is not getting abused in the moment, and then she still love her husband and she want to come back. Bruh, you've questioned his commitment, his on-court character, if you will. Like, and now we're 2 months removed, and you just his biggest advocate.
I question his willingness to do what you said, is to do whatever it takes, meaning that if it takes me doing it another way, will he do it or can he do it? But I also put the blame in a lot of those cases on coaching, because you got to have a coach that can have an uncomfortable conversation and to challenge the player. I don't know any player on any level that can't be challenged, or, what I'm saying? Even like I said, Ty Lue challenged LeBron or told LeBron, hey, sit down, I got this. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a coach that's willing to do it. And I don't think he's had a coach that was willing. I don't think he had the right coach. Hold
on. What did you mean when you said you questioned whether if he did it, if he was asked to do it another way, would he do it? What do you mean by that, though?
So like when we're talking about, when I brought up to Jason when they were playing Oklahoma
City. The good of the
City.
Team versus what he's due. If he had
to
personally sacrifice stats, money, status, and take a back seat for the team to move forward, would he do it?
It's not just James Harden, right? You can say with Russell Westbrook. The specific example we're talking about when they played Oklahoma City.
Both of y'all are wrong.
And they lost the game.
Both of y'all are like dead wrong.
Let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this. It's crazy.
Let me make my point.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I can break that argument down like real quick. But I'm trying to let you finish making your point. Go ahead, make your point.
Let me make my point.
Let me ask you this real quick. If James Harden had to, if we had some magic wand where he could trade in his 2 MVPs and what's he got, a $200 million Adidas contract? Let's just say he could trade in his 2 MVPs and his Adidas contract was $70 million. And he would have 3 championships, and he'd have a trajectory of like a Draymond Green or something. You got your championships, you got your $100 million contract, but all this extra stuff. You think he would take a step back for the good of the team?
Nobody would.
Would you give up? Would you give up all your money and your?
My view of money has changed dramatically in the last.
But that's your view, though.
That's your view.
Yeah.
That's that don't mean that he wrong. That's why these players are playing. That's why Giannis. That's what
tell you that too.
That's what AD wanted from Los Angeles.
Don't get in front of the camera. Don't get in front of the camera talking about the team and we should do this and like, dude. If it's just about.
How often have you heard him say that? James Harden don't talk much.
Yeah,
he don't say nothing. If you don't throw a camera in his face, he don't seek the camera. That's one thing that James Harden, you can actually accuse him.
And when he does talk, he talk about the team.
He don't do much. But get back to my point. when I was talking about when they played Oklahoma City and they couldn't inbound the ball, and James he wasn't moving, right, to try to get open. He's just trying to hold the guy off on his hip. My point was, James, you got to do something different. You have to be willing. You can't be that stubborn to see that it doesn't work about 5 times in a row. Try something different. But I also said at the same point, that's coaching. Call a timeout, get in his face, make him understand that you have to do it. You have to at least try it. Now, if you don't try it, then hey, or if you try it and James still don't do it, then the coaching is now you off the hook. You did what you could try.
How long he been playing basketball for?
Hey,
he know how to get the ball when he want to get the ball.
Well, Jay, apparently because he does it every single game. That's how James gets the ball on inbound game after game after game. He does the same thing.
So and when you get to the playoffs for the 5th year in a row, and they take away what you like to do and how you like to get the ball, and you ain't making no adjustment. You say stubbornness. I say laziness.
It's the same thing with Russell Westbrook. This point applies to Russell Westbrook. It applies to other players. Russell Westbrook will go 100 miles an hour, and he's gonna just try to force it in. I'm gonna force a square peg into a round hole, and it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Now is that being selfish or whatever, or is that this is how I know to play? This is what I'm gonna try to do. It's up to the coach, right, in that moment to say, Russ, we need you off the ball. You're turning it over, you're forcing things, you're making bad plays. It's coaching. I'm not alleviating James of the blame that he takes. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not alleviating James and the blame that it takes. I'm saying there's equal blame to go around between coaching, James, general manager, ownership. They all got a piece of it. All of them are to blame. There's been bad moves made from the front office. There's been an owner who didn't spend when it needed to spend when you were on the cusp of winning. There's a coach that fails to make adjustments all the time, or the few adjustments that he does make is normally the wrong one. It's only one. I'm gonna shorten the rotation. I'm gonna go small.
Let me say this: anybody can make somebody look like they're doing something bad when you breaking it down, mistakes down from like one-off plays. I'm talking about when I say his willingness to do what it takes. I mean overall for the team. Like for example, hey, we want you to move from shooting guard to point guard. That's what I'm talking about, the willingness to do what it takes. But you can easily make somebody looking like they're doing something wrong when you picking out plays that they messed up on.
Yeah, we need you to go guard.
It ain't plays. This is a track record of coming up short in the biggest, highest leverage moments.
But the thing is, how many players come up short?
How many players have done that?
Somebody got to win. How many players come up short? All of the players come up short because all of the players don't win every game they play. So you can't take that point of view.
Oh, it's true now. I done said that how many
one
times?
Player all the time.
No,
somebody's got to lose.
Tell me who has won championships. Tell me who has won championships in the last 6 years.
Somebody's got to lose. It just so happened to just be this guy. And
he gets talked about because he's good enough to get them to the cusp of even having a chance.
But let me finish my point.
Let
me stop getting interrupted, brother. I'm trying to finish my point. I let y'all talk. So what I'm trying to say is the things that he's doing right now is probably because he realized, hey, I can't get it done by myself. I'm a superstar. They paying me like a superstar, but maybe I need to go join a KD, like KD needed to join a Steph and a Draymond and a Klay Thompson. Maybe I need to join a Kyrie Irving, and if that don't work, maybe I need to go join Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons
and Anthony Davis.
You know, and not to mention y'all, the coach and the GM that I was comfortable with, that looked like we were accomplishing things. All of a sudden, y'all done made the environment to where they wanted to walk. So where does that leave me now? You're going to criticize me for not winning championships, but you took away the coach that we was accomplishing stuff. You took away the GM that was making the moves that was going to put us in the better positions, and you replaced it with a rookie coach. You know? So if I don't get it done now, you're going to really be pointing the finger at me. Say James Harden ain't. So he don't want to go down with his legacy being another Charles Barkley, a great player that couldn't get it done, a Tracy McGrady. a great player
What's
that
wrong?
just kept
What's
on.
wrong? Every single day there for the last week, there's been some booger eating gossip about Brooklyn or, hey, here's an ultimatum, build a championship team or trade me. Like, they've been spending money. Did they spend the extra luxury tax money? No. But it's not like it was an $80 million salary on the roster and they would left $30 million on the table. When he gets asked, how about you just say, I'm committed to the Rockets. End of story. Don't ask me no more questions.
Because then he'd be
Why
lying.
are you even entertaining the thought?
Because he is entertaining the thought. So maybe I'm saying that we can't get it done. I can't get it done by myself.
You don't feel disrespected by that?
I feel like as a fan, I want the Rockets to succeed. I'm trying to look at it from the player's point of view. This man don't want to go down with no championship. And as the years go by, he get further and further away from the championship. His best chance was with Chris Paul, and it didn't happen.
Because of him.
So if you're not going to bring some more stars to the team, or you can't afford to, then maybe I need to go and join the stars where they are.
You got your stars. He had Dwight. He had CP.
It didn't fit.
He had Russ, and each one went sideways.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Jay.
There's a common denominator here.
Let me ask you a question, Jay. If James Harden had won a championship ring already, with all the flaws that he has, would you be sitting here criticizing? Answer the question truthfully. If they had won in 2018, if they had won the championship in 2018, if Chris Paul didn't get injured,
it wouldn't warrant this conversation. I would. I got some things to say about a lot of people who's won a championship, namely LeBron James. But would it warrant this conversation? No.
Okay. So the reason why we having this conversation is because he ain't won a championship. Mm-hmm. So he's saying
no. If it works, no. There's been 4 or 5 times you have personally questioned and challenged James Harden. What's wrong with him upstairs?
But if he had won a championship, Jay, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Coulda, shoulda.
This wouldn't even be happening.
You're right.
So I also question Steph Curry. I question Steph Curry on him coming up small in a bunch of key situations where it appears Steph is bailing him out, Clay is bailing him out, or y'all just clearly superior to the talent, to the teams that you're facing, or whatever.
And this year we don't have the chance. If there's no major injuries, and you still have that criticism after this season's over, then we'll follow up.
No, but the point is, I question it. The vast majority of the media and fans out there don't really question Steph because he's won a championship. It don't matter if you come up small. He's won a championship. He's basically untouchable. James Harden is looking at it just like Marcus said. It's like, man, they've tried it. I've tried it as the number one guy. I keep coming up short. I'm good enough to get us on the cusp, but we can't get over the hump, regardless of the reason it's for. Whether it's his shortcomings, the team's shortcoming, the owner not spending, whatever the case may be, I'm not winning, and I'm getting crucified by the media and the fans because I've accomplished everything there is to accomplish in the game of basketball except win a ring. But Anthony Davis can team up with LeBron, win the ring, entire career rewritten, right? Mm-hmm. LeBron can go and join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, form this up, win a ring, narrative rewritten. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant is the same exact guy he was in
on the wall. City. James Harden seeing the writing on the wall. Yeah. Like, okay, this is what I got to do so I can stop getting criticized like they stopped getting criticized.
He looking at his legacy standpoint because that really, you said it several times. You're done. You just said it today. You're done with James Harden. I don't care what he accomplishes in the regular season. I don't care what his stats look like. I don't care about nothing. Get done in the playoffs. Well, if I go join up with the Warriors or whoever, like Kevin Durant did, Kevin Durant is the exact same guy he was in Oklahoma City. But he joined the Warriors, and all of a sudden, championship, won 2 of them, and legacy cemented.
Nobody can hate on him.
And no one criticized. They criticized him for 10 minutes, and then they stopped criticizing.
Yeah. And don't forget, like I said, it's like, okay, well, yeah, y'all brought the people in, but we kept losing. So, I mean, what do I do? Just sit still? If you can't afford as the GM or as the owner, if you can't afford to bring some stars in to me so where I can stay on this team. Because James Harden said it. Hey, y'all put some championship pieces around me, some more stars, to where we can win, then I'll stay. Other than that, if you can't afford to do it, then I'll just have to go to another team that got the stars already.
In 2 years, when you're 34, 35.
Okay. Well, but here's the thing. This is the reason why he's doing what he's doing, because he's saying, I'm very serious about this thing. If I don't start doing stuff to force different things, then y'all are not you're gonna tiptoe around bringing some stars to me.
Status quo.
Or if that's not the case, then you're gonna tiptoe around letting me go, because they already saying, well, we ain't releasing James Harden, that he our superstar. But he's serious about what he want for his legacy. You can think what you want to think. You can say he wrong if you want to, but that's his legacy.
I'll say this too, and I'm gonna be real quick about it. Jay, I agree with you and the immaturity and stuff like that that's been coming out.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
Looks and all that stuff. I'm 100% in agreement. It's COVID. Like, be smarter than that. You're not just risking yourself. You're putting your team. You're putting the whole league in jeopardy by the behavior. And it's a bad look. And I think that if he keep going down the path that he was going, then he's gonna his legacy really gonna take a hit. Yeah. So all that is I'm in 100% agreement with you on how he's handling it. However, we all knew when the thing came out saying that he demanded a trade, you all knew that this is where it's gonna go, because he's locked under contract for 2 years, probably 3 years if he take that player option, and he wants to move. He got no other recourse but to try to force their hand. The Rockets have made it clear, we don't want to trade you. We willing to wait it out. So what can you do other than not show up?
Don't forget that they came out and said, we're willing to get uncomfortable. And so he's like, okay, y'all playing that game? Well, let's get uncomfortable then. Yeah. You know? So now I agree though with you, Aaron, about the immaturity. But even with that, look at it this way. James Harden, he might be an NBA superstar. He might be a rich NBA player and this and that. But he's human, just like every other human out here that's saying, I'm tired of getting locked down. COVID-19 is weighing on me. I get it. I wouldn't do it, but I understand it. And like me and my wife, we like to travel, right? That's what we do. Every year we travel and we try to go somewhere big and whatever. That's what we like to do. But COVID-19 got us stuck in the house. And so what we do then, we drive around the city and try to go look at different things just to kind of get out the house. And it's a mental health thing. If I was more comfortable personally, I'd be going to go visit with my family for the holidays and this and that. He just so happened to be comfortable with it. Right or wrong, that's what it is. But we criticize him because he's James Harden and he's in the public view more than we criticize other people. And we think that he shouldn't do any wrong, but he's human. He make mistakes. Yeah. He gonna realize it when he get a little older.
I said that to something to that effect and on a Facebook chat. Jason, you screenshotted it and sent it in our text message. But not only that, but think the league just released this whole COVID plan and what players and teams can and can't do. 2 days ago, they said no bars, no clubs, no whatever. It was 2 days ago. It's right the day before camp started. James Harden lives in the club and all this stuff. Well, James is like, I'm getting it in before I even get to training camp. I'm finna get all this out of my system. I don't think he's gonna get all this.
If you knew you was going to jail and you wasn't gonna be getting,
take one for the road.
What you do?
Take one for the road.
There's the analogy right there.
You want to at least have the memory.
you know anybody that been in jail, Jay? That got a court date where they know, hey, when I'm gonna go to jail at this time because this is coming. That's exactly what they do. Yeah, that is exactly what they do. And if
they really weak-minded, then they pull Daniel House and a Sweet Lou. Yeah. Go get you some chicken wings.
I'm surprised James wasn't the one that got busted with that, to be honest with you. I am literally surprised James didn't get busted.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that outside of a bubble in this news environment, I think that even if he reported and tried to be a good soldier, James is likely to bust this quarantine thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just being real. So, and that goes to your point, Jay.
But that don't mean that we agree with him, though, Jay.
I can only you guys, like anybody who's watching this is either going to be on your side or my side, obviously, but they're going to say, damn, them two bully Rocket fans over there are so drunk. Or they're going to be on the other side and they're going to be like, well, maybe he won that argument. James actually really is just doing what, NBA players do. But and LeBron and Steph are not, their circumstances are different. Steph, silver spoon, pedigree, and LeBron is just one in 7 billion people on planet Earth. But let me I got a like-minded one, and I'm not just talking about Miami Heat Jimmy Butler. I'm talking about Jimmy Butler for the last 5 years and the malcontent and the issues. The one thing you never question about Jimmy Butler is he may be stingy and stubborn and wanting to do it his way, but you ain't questioning his commitment. And James Harden's 30 points don't absolve him of other accountabilities for the position that he's in.
Hold on. Since you brought up Jimmy Butler, how many teams did Jimmy Butler spurn? How many teams did he wreck, and how many teams did he destroy before he got to Miami and got success? Because he got to a situation he wanted to be in. 3 teams in a 3-year period. Yep. He literally went through 3 teams, just tear the house down, destroy everything, no matter what y'all gave up to get me.
And blasted they stars.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a Jimmy Butler I'm gonna make the call for me. I'm not talking about or judging nobody else. He blasted they stars.
So when I say I'd rather have Jimmy Butler and all of what comes with Jimmy Butler than James Harden and all of what comes with James Harden. Are you just gonna strike it off as hate, or are you even gonna try to look a little deeper as to why some unbiased person is saying I'd rather mess with Jimmy Butler than James Harden? Are you gonna even entertain the question, or just say, oh no, James is 30 points a game and his transcendent step back, he's drunk.
No, dude. See you putting words into our mouth.
No, I'm trying, because that's what it sounds like. Anybody who listened to the first 45 minutes of this is going to come to that conclusion.
No, bro. See, here's the thing.
Because you attacking, we defend. That's why.
There's some things.
Can you entertain the thought that maybe he doesn't deserve you defending him?
Man, can you entertain the thought that maybe he deserves some blame and also to be defended? Can both not be true?
I've been defending him, dude.
I've said that he deserves some blame, and then I defend because I think you go over the top with the blame. That's all I'm saying.
Overly biased with the defense.
And if Jimmy Butler, since you're using Jimmy Butler didn't lead Miami to this that championship run that he went on. Are you still saying the same thing? Is anyone saying the same thing?
No.
Jimmy Butler wasn't even looked at as a top 20-ish player, 20 player in the league before this run.
And he's still not. But again, when you pick in fights with Karl Anthony Towns because you care, because you want to win, and it ain't about stats and my $200 million or whatever else, I question James.
See, that's crazy. When did you hear that it was about his $200 million and his stats?
It's not. So the thing is it's not.
When he started getting the stats
with it.
Do you know when he started getting the stats? When Mike D'Antoni came. That's not James Harden's fault. He was asked to put in
stats before.
How about one of his stats is being one of the leaders in assists? That means I'm not a selfish player.
Let's keep it real. Aaron will look at it from an analytical point of view, and I can say the same thing about a Peyton Manning or Luka Doncic. It's the system is designed for him to either get a free throw, a 3-pointer, or an assist on every bucket. Now, there is only 3-4 people in the NBA who can do it for 82 games plus 16. And James Harden is one of them. He's got the He's got that thick girth durability. But his stats are goosed because Mike D'Antoni and the system that he's played in means that there is no egalitarian, everybody eats. Tonight, you got 8 points and you get 8 shot attempts. Dude, you're giving him all this extra because they're funneling everything through him.
When has James Harden not done what his coach wanted him to do? When he was at OKC, he was the sixth man. He came off the bench.
Go get the ball.
When he moved to Houston, he was under
the ball in the last 2 minutes of the game.
When he moved to Houston, he was under Rick Adelman. He did what Rick Adelman said to do. When Kevin McHale was the coach, he did what Kevin McHale said to do. When D'Antoni came to the Rockets and asked him to move the point guard, he was like, "Dude, are you sure? Okay, I'll do it." And he did what he said to do. And you mad at him because he excelling?
Go guard centers for the whole game.
Go guard the center. Are you mad at him because he's excelling? He has not failed to accomplish what the coaches wanted him to do. He just so happened to excel. I wish that every time I went to the lane, I can purposely draw a foul. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? Getting the big men or getting their players in foul trouble.
I do believe you go to the well until they prove they can't stop it. I'm a firm believer.
But I agree with you that there's some things about what James Harden does that's like kind of that would be off-putting to people. But now you going into his personal life. On the court, he has not failed to do what his coaches wanted him to do. And he wants to win a championship, just like the city of Houston want to win a championship, just like the coaching staff want to win a championship.
The city of Houston, you gave that passionate lecture to John Wall the other day about how we feel about our basketball and stuff like that. Jay, if you think for 1 second, listen, Jay, if you think for 1 second that I put James Harden above Houston Rockets basketball, you are out your freaking
you are.
And you know what? Actually, do you guys see this? I didn't just pick that up. I was asking you, are you Houston or are you James? Are you Houston? I wrote that 5 hours ago in anticipation of this.
Houston,
but
we're talking about James.
You're not hearing this.
Yeah,
defending James, and we recognize where we were at before he came and what he brought us to. And what 25 years of basketball was between Hakeem Olajuwon winning and until James showed up and started doing what making us relevant. So it's one thing to recognize what he's given us, but then also say where he's coming up short at. People just go over the top. The thing is no one else catches this flack. You don't hear from Dame Lillard. You don't hear from Giannis. You don't hear anybody. You don't hear. There's been 3 teams or 3 players win championships in the last 6 years, 7 years, however, whatever. LeBron been in every last championship, right? He either won it or he lost it to other multiple Hall of Famers that he went up against, right? Or it's been Golden State and y'all multiple Hall of Famers. And the one championship that wasn't won by them was Kawhi Leonard because everybody got hurt on Golden State. So we can acknowledge, so it's like, what? Why are we killing this dude for coming up short when he's actually coming further and closer than everybody not on that Warriors team and not on LeBron's team? And LeBron wasn't by himself in any of them championships he won. He was flanked by multiple All-Stars and Hall of Famers. Every single time. Even this year with Anthony Davis. I guess Anthony Davis is a way greater player than he was 3 months ago because he won a ring and he joined LeBron.
When you ain't at the top of the mountain, you should have an accountability to try to be.
You think they're not trying to be?
No.
That's why he won out, dude. That's why he won out. Because he's trying to be.
I don't think so.
And you
what can he do to make you think so? That's the question. What could he actually do that would make you think that he actually wants it?
Something different than he's done the last 5 years, which is
which is trying to go to another team.
No.
I'm
talking about something on the court.
That's on the court. Jay, if he goes and teams up with Brooklyn, let's just say Brooklyn hypothetically, right, with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, extra ball diamond than Kyrie Irving and all that, do you think his role not going to change? Do you think his stats ain't going to come down? Do you think his stats not going to come down?
we're going to talk about 6 months after James is gone. And you guys are going to have this bitter, nasty, first off, the return, you're going to be disappointed with the return that you get on your investment when you trade James. And then not only that, you're going to see James be the same person he is. And there's only one situation, I believe, that can complement him. Just like Kawhi Leonard gets complimented, just like Steph Curry gets complimented with Draymond Green, and Kyrie complimented LeBron in Cleveland. Joel Embiid and Philly is the only team that I think has a hope. And if he goes somewhere else other than that, it's going to get ugly. And then I'm going to get that unbiased view.
No,
I would imagine the conversation about Tracy McGrady is different today.
No,
after he was a Houston Rocket.
My thoughts on Tracy still the same as it was when he was in Houston.
Yeah, it's easy to say in hindsight because that was 10 years ago.
No, I called it at the time. I'm pretty sure you heard me call it at the time. But listen, my problem with it is that everyone wants to deal in these absolutes. James is 10 years, you know what I'm saying, in his career, he's 31 years old, just turned 31. Hakeem didn't win a championship till he was 31. He won back-to-back. It took him that long too.
Y'all ain't nowhere near a championship.
And guess what? Hakeem also demanded a trade out of Houston and faked an injury to try to get Houston to trade in. But you probably wouldn't know that because you don't go that far back. But I'm just saying, I'm a Houston Rocket fan all the way through and through. The only thing that could probably bump me off of that, it ain't James Harden, but it is Tillman Fertitta because he's on. He's the only thing that could bump me off, and that'll be grudgingly coming off the team that I love. My problem is when everyone deals in these absolutes of James is absolutely this, or it's not just James, anybody, right? Don't take it away from just saying James Harden.
Yeah, I remember Kobe demanding a trade, and it got ugly in the Lakers for about 2 years.
Exactly. And why did Kobe demand a trade? Because I can keep wallowing in his first round exit with Smush Parker and Kwame Brown, or I can put some pressure on the organization to make moves,
to do something
uncomfortable.
But I'm sorry though, just the same way I hold Harden accountable for Dwight, CP3, and Russ, Kobe got what he asked for. He said, him or me, get him out of here. And then in 18 months, you talking about, what are y'all doing? We got no talent? Wait a minute. You asked for that. You sent Shaq to Miami. You did that, player.
But listen, Kobe took all his lumps, went out in the first round and all that stuff or whatever, and then he did the same thing James is doing. James maybe, because I know James loves the city of Houston. And I know he
That's what I'm getting at. Y'all are, I'm disrespecting for you.
Well, this is my thing. I know he loves the city of Houston, and I know he loves it being the attention and all that. So he got James Harden weekend, for God's sake. All this stuff. But he may be pulling what he's pulling to try to put pressure on the owner to really go out and spend to try to make the team better.
Because everybody knows that this owner is cheap. Everybody knows that this owner is cheap.
Actually, I was the first person to call that, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I mean, what do you do when you don't like your work environment and you the one on the team that have the power to change it? It's like you give them the ultimatum. Hey, you get us what we need to. You give us what we need in order to compete, or I'm bouncing.
That's the only thing he can do. I don't disparage him for it. And I'm willing
actually you can even look at it like he doing it for the city. He doing it for the fans. Hey, give
us
in
Houston. I tell you, I swear on everything.
Oh, I'm bouncing.
And maybe this is Jason at 38 years old. So I'm gonna be completely fair and say I don't know at Jason at 31 or 32, but I don't feel like it's too much to ask. If somebody asks me about my work environment and I'm getting paid $200 million, I'm like, look, man, I'm ready to die for these Rockets. I'm getting paid. I mean, there's no question. I'm a Houston Rocket until I'm not. And that's it. I'm not even entertaining. I'm not talking about Brooklyn.
But you just said earlier that it's not about the money. You just said earlier that it's not about the money. No. You said if James Harden was to give up the MVPs and the money and this, and we were
I'm gonna keep it 100 when it is.
Okay,
bro.
Man, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth right now.
No, I'm not. You got to be your brother's keeper. You respect the fact that these people gave you a $200 million contract, and the city of Houston gives you unconditional love.
Okay.
But then when you,
what are you doing? What are you doing right now as a fan? What are you doing? You're criticizing them for coming up short over and over and over again. That's what you're doing. So
when I'm criticizing him because when he comes up short over and over and over again, he's still at the club. He's still making trade demands.
Going to the club, let the man go to the club, Jay. How do you celebrate? How do you work off stress? What do? You go to the gym? What do you do? How like you can't go into this man's personal business. You saying what do you do? He ain't at the club in the middle of the game. He obviously working on his game because he gets better every year.
And Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant gave him their stamp of approval. James Harden is like different.
What do you want him to do? So if he didn't go to the club no more and he still came up short and he still had all the same warts, would you feel differently about it? He's focusing too much on his club business, man.
No,
that's what it is. Jay focusing on his personal life, and you like.
I'm holding him to a standard. I'm holding him like, dude, respect the contract that they gave you. Respect the unconditional love that the Houston fans give you. And it ain't respecting it when you sitting here talking about trade me. It ain't respecting it when people are questioning. Aaron, you said, did he get paid off? I'm like, the man has $200 million contract. What are you talking about? Did they pay him off? I question his integrity and his heart when he came out here and didn't show up. And then a week later, he was concussed. And then 2 months later, you back on the bandwagon.
Do you think that Kawhi got paid off? Are you going in on Kawhi over and over and over again for his 2 for whatever? Do you feel any different about Anthony Davis for not respecting his contract and demanding out and going sit out in the middle of the season, saying I ain't gonna play no more?
Wearing t-shirts.
Wearing t-shirts.
Trolling the team.
No, I don't.
That's all, folks.
I don't. I feel like that's dirty when you start doing dirty tactics to manipulate your way out of a town when you sign that contract. Did nobody have a gun to your head to sign that contract? So the leveraging that needs to happen needs to stay behind closed doors.
Hey, well, don't act like it ain't a thing.
If James Harden goes to Tillman Fertitta and says, hey, this ain't really working for me anymore. The trajectory, I don't care if you're a Trump supporter. I don't care what the reason is.
Yeah, just tell me, Jay, just tell me, what could this man possibly do to win you over, convert you over, change his narrative for you? If he just stopped going to the club, would it change everything?
What he could do, first off, let's just check. I gotta spit the factual evidence to support my claim, which was I put $100 on the Rockets.
There we go. And there we go. You lost money.
I 10-1. I put
I told you not to.
No, hear me out. I didn't ask. I didn't need you to talk me out of it. I saw the weakness in the Lakers. The Rockets exposed it for one game and folded. But that's beside the point.
That ain't James. That was Daniel House.
When I put that money on the Rockets, it was to distinctly be able to say in a moment just like this that I believed in James Harden, the player, and what he does.
You make bad bets all the time, Jay.
And it is circumstance. You're right. The Rockets tricked off assets at every turn.
But say the Rockets. Don't say James. Say the Rockets.
No, the Rockets did. But when I look at him, he don't look like he really cares. It's lip service, bruh. It's lip service. When you say what could he do, is he could actually have some respect for, again, Houston as a city. Like it doesn't matter if you go to Tillman Fertitta and say, I want to trade. But when you get on there and you say, get me out of Houston, that's disrespectful. I would be.
Is it okay when Kobe did it?
No.
And are you slandering Kobe to this day?
No.
He did the same thing.
He caused the malfunction with Shaq. He said him or me. He forced the Lakers' hand.
James did the same thing to Chris Paul. He caused Chris Paul
the Lakers' hand. I don't condone that. When you sign a contract in good faith, You live up to it. You don't say, you give me $200 million. No, when James Harden says, I'll let you guys out of the $40 million this year, let me go to Philly, then bruh, I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Hey.
Who's your top 5 players of all time, Jay? Your top 5. Give them to me. I want to hear them. And don't lie either. You smiling because I caught you in your lie. Tell me who your top 5.
Let me tell you who they are. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green.
No. It ain't.
Let him answer.
It's the Warriors.
Let him answer.
It ain't. It's Hakeem Olajuwon, Baron Davis, Steph Curry. I don't even want to say Kobe, but he was so just because I'm 38 and he was a couple years ahead of me, and as I fell in love with basketball, it was natural. So Kobe.
And has it changed? Has it changed since he did the same thing James Harden has done? That's all I'm asking.
No, but it ain't right. It ain't, dude.
I'm not saying it's right either.
There's a code of conduct
I'm not saying it's right.
with $200 million. There's a code of conduct. And the code of conduct, it's a breach of your contract to go in there talking about, I'm going to go tell Woj, I would prefer John Wall.
Marcus, either one of us defend James in that way of saying, hey, he should have asked out or anything like that? No. Did we just stand the strip club and all this stuff?
To answer your question, it ain't going to the club. It's having understanding the time and place, right? If I got $200 million, that means I can bring the club to me. It ain't the club. It's the optics. It's what fans like you and me are supposed to see when somebody's out here demanding trades and not respecting the craft, the moment. Why is basketball like Kyrie Irving? And that's a whole nother
they don't have to live their life the way you want them to live it.
Yeah, it would be different if you wasn't killing them for it.
But that's why we're here. There's a reason why the Warriors have won 3 out of 5 championships and the Rockets ain't won in 20 years.
The reason going to the club has nothing to do with winning no championship.
The reason why the Warriors won all them championships because they got 2 greatest shooters that ever lived.
And KD.
A smart head coach, a smart general manager, and an owner that's willing to spend.
And they're not knuckleheads that have.
Draymond Green's a knucklehead. He cost y'all the title, being a knucklehead, kicking people in the nuts on purpose. Come on, man. Jakes, quit selling the BS, brother. Just say you don't like the dude. Just say you don't like the guy.
Jason, it would be as big a deal if you wasn't killing James Harden for going to the club. I don't like his time of going to the club.
No, it's getting caught going to the club. It's not going to the club, dog.
Man, I don't like it either. You think we like it?
It's getting caught.
But it's his life.
It's 30 minutes after you get eliminated.
It's his life.
You
can't hate that. Just because you sulk the way you sulk don't mean that he's supposed to.
Jay, I don't like that he went to the club either, Jay. But I can't tell no one not to go to the club.
Whether he was getting paid under the table. You questioned whether he was getting paid.
Hey, B, did you question whether James Harden was getting paid under the table?
Hey, when he looked like, hey, listen, there's been a couple games where James Harden looked like Space Jam when he got the talent stolen.
What the hell?
Anyone that saw it, but you know what? You can say the same
next time it happens, it's going to be on the podcast. So don't even trip, Mark. You're going to see what I'm talking about.
But Jay, you can say the same thing about Kawhi. You can say the same thing about Paul George hitting the side of the back. Boy, you get Russell Westbrook and Paul George. There's been a lot of performances where if you want to, like, if you're going to get me in my middle of my fandom emotional after the game, well, I might say a whole bunch of stuff. The point is,
bro, you was talking about, it wasn't after a game. It was a week later.
It doesn't matter. I'm still in it. Whatever. You're talking about a playoff game, bro. The season just ended. I can't tell James Harden not to go get them lap dances. I can't tell him to do it.
It's his money. He can make it rain.
If he invited me, I would come. That's not the point.
But does he show up
and disrespect? You're not hearing what I'm saying, dog. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Jay,
there are 5 million booger eaters out there.
Man, what is you
up all over the internet? All them Twitter booger eaters, them Facebook booger eaters, The media, they are all out there like sharks, ready to light you on fire, make a meme out of you. And I'm just saying, exercise common sense, bro.
But you killing them.
The people who make the people who make $50,000 a year, who spend half their cheese on Houston merch, and are gonna the type of people who are gonna listen to this podcast. When you have them questioning whether you were taking a bribe off the table, like that's because you want to be at the club 30 minutes after you get eliminated from a game 7. I'm sorry, optics matter. Optics matter.
Jay, you're the one keep bringing up the club thing. You ain't never heard me harp on the man going to the club.
Y'all keep bringing it up, and now I got to defend that.
Because you keep bringing it. Listen, you've never, ever, ever heard me harp on James Harden going to the club.
Never.
Never. I know I can honestly say I know you never heard me harp on it. Is it the smartest move? Is it the best look? No. But if you keep harping on it, it's not that big a deal, brother. I think this is worse, right? What he's doing, and it's not the holdout that's worse. Not that he didn't show up to practice, right? It's the fact that in the pandemic, in COVID, he's in the club or whatever. But guess what? There's millions of people still going to clubs in COVID because of the same reason Marcus just gave. People are tired of being locked in. They got to get out. They want to go party. They might not have. James Harden may not have partied for months until he went in there. And I ain't seen nothing come out about him being in the club.
And let me also bring this up.
He goes one time and he's back. He's in the club.
Let me bring this up. James Harden is consistently in the MVP conversation for at least the last 5 years. Consistently, has him going to the club made his play drop? I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
We're digressing.
No, we're not, because you relate him going to the club to how he plays the game and his seriousness and approach to the game.
I believe. Do you guys appreciate the way Bill Belichick handles things? It's not for everybody, but do you appreciate
some things,
it?
but not. Yeah, it ain't for everybody. Some things he's good on. Some things I think he don't handle it the right way.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing, and this is what I'm talking about: is handling it the right way. It's not the trade demand or the trade request. It's that you just out here nilly-willy. Yeah, Brooklyn, man. Hey, actually, here's my list. That's the one that irks the hell out of me.
They all do that.
When players, I know, and every single time, it always gets on my damn nerves. Here's my list of players I would like to go when, hey, don't touch my $80 million guaranteed on that. I have 3 years left. Don't touch that. I'm not giving not one dime of that $80 million 3 years left on the deal, but I would like to go.
Hey, Jay, welcome to player empowerment.
Hey,
I don't like it either.
Jay,
I don't like it either. But my point is, and I keep bringing it up, is you kill James relentlessly. Kill all these other players because they're all doing the same thing.
No, I do. No, first off, I kill other players. I hold nothing back. What are you talking about?
No, kill them all because
Carmelo Anthony.
Jay,
because you disparaging James Harden because you hate Carmelo Anthony.
Hey,
hold on. Wait.
I got my Steph Curry and my Klay Thompson. And
wait. Daggone it. I'm trying to get a word in. Jay, you look all upset and everything. You need to smile, brother. I want to show you something. You too, AB. Don't take your eyes off the screen. I know y'all see.
Hey, let me see you do it again. Put your head down again. I think I see a balding spot right there.
No, don't even try. I got a full, thick head of hair. Don't even try to play me.
His head back up.
No, because I know you're trying to play me. Don't try to play me. But hey, we just smashed on James. Well, Jay, you try to smash on James Harden enough. Let's talk about this Kyrie Irving thing. It's time for him to get himself smashed.
Here's another one. Don't get me started.
Let's talk about it now. Kyrie Irving was given I don't even know if he gave the interview because he said he wasn't going to give an interview to the media no more. So, but that's in the contract for the players for the media to be able to have access to the NBA players. I mean, this is how they get paid. This is how they get their publicity. So if they don't participate in media days, then they get fined. But my issue with Kyrie Irving is you're in the public eye. That's the career that you chose to be in. You wanted to be a professional NBA player. You knew before you signed up for the whole thing what it was all about. You knew the attention and the ridicule and everything that it came with, but you want to be treated differently by the media. I ain't with that.
Go ahead.
I ain't with that.
Keep going.
Well, I gave you my thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets a few weeks ago, and why I said I think they're getting overrated, and that they're just as likely to fail terribly than they are to contend. And I don't even say win a championship. I say contend. They have just as many chances to fail than they have to even compete to contend. And this is just the start of it. By Kyrie Irving taking this approach, it's going to leave his coach and his teammates every day, every night to ask the media to ask about him.
Marshawn Lynch style.
Yeah. Well, what does Kyrie think about this? And why did he do this? And why did he do that? Instead of them going to him because he's taking the approach that he takes. Kevin Durant has a bad, he don't like the media, right? He has a back and forth, like going at the media and stuff like that.
I
think it's a bad mix. I think it's a bad mix, man.
It is because the minute they start asking Kevin Durant about what Kyrie Irving is doing and what he's thinking and how he feels about something, then that's when everything gonna blow up on them. So I think so this is one of those things where you got to come out of yourself. We talk about somebody being selfish. Kyrie is selfish. This is one of the things where you got to come out of yourself and be like, man, let me go and man up and do my part because I don't want to leave it on my teammates. Now that's selfish. I don't want to leave it on my teammates to have to answer those questions for me, and it's just gonna create a bad relationship for him and Kevin Durant going forward.
There is no situational awareness in people like Kyrie Irving, and the fact that he just the comments about LeBron, like the like when you sign up to be a gladiator, when you sign up to be a professional football player, when you want to be an MMA fighter, there's an inherent risk with that. You don't get to say, bitches, gripes, complaints, I'm crippled for life, I can't walk. You knew what it was when you got into it. And if you love basketball and you just wanted to play basketball without all the extra garbage, just go hoop on Saturdays. Go to your local gym and go hoop for the passion of the game. When you accepted that $150 million or whatever contract you got, you knew the media was a part of the deal, bro. You knew it. Why are you sitting here talking about all the mundane, annoying parts of your day? If we could have a 90-second profanity laden segment where I can just lay into him, I'll tell you how I really feel about him. I had some clean Kyrie Irvings too. I won't wear them. And the first bum I see can have them for nothing. Like he's just, your feet are too small.
Hey man, slide them this way, brother.
Bro.
Yeah, give him the air. He need to do something besides them desert boots he be wearing.
Kyrie just is so annoying. You know what? He's got a God complex. He likes to hear himself talk. He says, what can I say to be stupid but smart at the same time? Like I don't even want to say he's the dumbest smart person because I just think he's the dumbest dumb person. And he just happens to have the nicest handles on planet Earth ever.
And he's Uncle Drew.
Jay, yes. Man, don't be too hard, man. We don't want them to shut us down. We ain't even get started yet.
Hey, when I load these videos on YouTube, it asks me, "Is this for the kids?" And I got to put yes or no. Nah, I don't know what to put. I don't know what to put. I got to make a command decision. But I understand what you feel. You know what Kyrie Irving remind me of? He reminds me of one of those people that is so into themselves and they have this alpha mentality and everybody think they nice as far as their skills and stuff, and they know they nice. But he remind me of one of them people where you tell them, man, hey, bro, you nice, and they be like, I know, and they just be a jerk, that they want to be the alpha no matter what, and it's like, yeah, but we know you the alpha. No, I don't want you to tell me the alpha. I'm gonna take it. I'm the alpha. I don't want no, you know what I'm saying? He's one of those dudes that's just always on edge and aggressive no matter what, and he don't.
It goes sideways though. It's I'm trying to beat Kobe Bryant and Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
But you haven't been through all life's the way life can smack you down. And so now he's got this God superiority complex, and he don't know he's gone. Bro. Yeah. He's gone. He don't have any
did y'all see the video clip of him going at Kobe Bryant on the Olympic team where he's trying to be like, yeah, you ain't some kid. It's like,
but you're supposed to have that confidence. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but what I'm using that to kind of convey what I feel about his personality.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of them where I ain't your son. Don't call me your son. Yeah. You don't know who I am. I'm not Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, ain't nobody like, we trying to give you your props. We know who you are. We know what you can do.
If you look at his path right up into where he is today, you can kind of see why. When you've been the best person, you know what I'm saying, all the way up through your high school, through up school, through college, even after he got hurt. Kyrie hardly played in college, right? It don't matter. Injury. Can hardly play, first round pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying? All the way to his path. Even when he wasn't accomplishing anything in Cleveland, LeBron showed up. It was Kyrie that hit the game winner and the biggest shot. He has, in his mind, all the way up and through, his stuff don't stink, man. You can't convince him.
And he wants to make everybody bow down to him. Even with the comments that he made about LeBron James talking about, I don't trust nobody else to take the last shot. It's got to be me. Or Kevin Durant, the only other one. Why you always gotta like poop on everybody else to make yourself?
But see, the funny thing is, not to cut you off, Marcus, but I did. The funny thing is though, and I know, Aaron, you know what I'm talking about too, because we've talked about it dozens of times. But the dude who has the nicest cross or nicest, prettiest 3-pointer, but the analytics and the efficiencies say that you're garbage. And when Boston can have a better record with you, dude, they have $100 million salary cap. You make 20 to 25 million, and now 14 other roster spots have a total of 70-something million dollars, and the team is better without you than with you. The overall record, not one time with the Boston Celtics, but then a second time with the Brooklyn Nets. You get hurt, their record is better without you. He is empty calories. I swear, when I say he has the nicest handles, he disrespected Steph so bad with that one move. You know which one I'm talking about, Aaron? Where he spin and he act like he was gonna I'm gonna put the clip up there for you.
You're talking about like the Christmas Day game when he hit them with the spin move?
When he hit Steph with that fake spin move, and it was like he had a magic trick with the ball, and I was just like, oh my God. I've never seen handles like this. This is literally the greatest handle I've ever seen. And right there with that is a faulty, messed up psychology about him. Something's loose. He's worse than James. He's about 50 rungs worse than James Harden. But
he reminds me of Carmelo
in New York,
to the point to where, as far as you know, how Carmelo was that great offensively and he could just score. Mm-hmm. Carmelo's ability to score is up there with anybody want to put it up there with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like he didn't have any other, or he only zeroed in on just that. Like you such a threat as a scorer that Carmelo, you can make everyone better around you. You could uplift things, but instead, I'm going to force Jeremy laying out of town. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be all my show. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't the number one ace boom going, then I don't want to be no part of it.
Somebody with Kyrie's personality, the worst thing that could happen for them is that they can win a championship and get a ring. Because that right there, Yeah, it as far as how he relates to other people now, everybody else is beneath him. It's like, yeah, I got my championship, but you got that championship with LeBron on your team, you know. So when you had your own team in Boston, you couldn't do it. You didn't do it, and even they started playing good without him when he got hit.
It was still a square peg in a round hole. Boston was never going to work from the jump, and it's actually the same thing. That when you talk about Harden to the Warriors, it's why it's a square peg to a round hole, and vice versa. But when he goes to when they have KD and they have everything lined up, and it doesn't go the way that he anticipated, it's going to get ugly, and all the boo birds is going to be out, and he might cave based off of that unfiltered people coming at him. It's gonna get ugly, and I'm gonna have my popcorn. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready to see.
And if you don't like,
they're gonna feed off of each other. They're gonna feed off of each other. It's gonna be toxic.
And if you don't like the media, if I'm Kyrie Irving and I don't like the media, the worst situation for me to be in is to be on the team with James Harden and Kevin Durant, because you're gonna get constant.
In New York City,
you in New York, you're gonna get constant media attention.
Well, it ain't gonna be James Harden just because on.
Well, I'm just saying if that was to happen.
It's not even plausible because they don't have the assets. But that's beside the point. It's coming anyway, Marcus. It's coming anyway. When they underachieve, if KD ain't the KD we saw before he got hurt,
yeah,
then let James go to Philly. Let Giannis come out hitting 35, 40% on three-pointers. It doesn't take much for Brooklyn to not be where they thought that they were going to be. Watch it.
I don't think any of that happened to happen. I think Milwaukee can be the exact same team they were last year with 60-win pace. I think Philly is already better based on the fit of pieces around him. Boston, I think, is still going to be right there.
Exactly. So when this goes sideways, we're gonna have popcorn. We're gonna be talking about it. It's there's not many more things I'm sure about around the league than that one.
All right, fellas. Hey, we're gonna have to leave it right there.
Last thing, they won't. I'll make this hot take. I don't even think KD and Kyrie are gonna be friends by the time their time in Brooklyn is over.
I can agree with that hot take.
I like it.
We're gonna play that back.
I said I think they're going out in the first round. And now you said I'm not be a friend. We're not in on Brooklyn.
No, I'm not in on Brooklyn.
If Harden somehow got there, right, based on just overwhelming talent, they might be. I would put them in for contending to come off the East. If it somehow got there, and them two were still there, and even then, I probably still would give it a 50-50 chance of them contending and completely falling apart because all the other reasons still exist.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it right there with that, y'all. Hey, this was a spirited conversation. I appreciate it. And to those that are watching the podcast, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so y'all can get notified whenever we post a new video. And we appreciate you watching. Peace. Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez podcast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to check out a few more clips, make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you're alerted whenever we post a new video.